Tell me if sound starts coming out, buddy. It's coming out. We fixed it. Thank God you all almost missed what's bound to be the worst show in the history of shows. But Stephen Luker fixed it for us. See what happens when you go to school? Good evening. Here we go. Yes. It is the Bleacher Brothers Show. You can hear us, but you missed the whole 20 minutes of the original intro. So we're going to have to go back and do it all over again. So, Steven, you can run out for some Skittles. Junior, you can go hit the bar downstairs. I will call for a mobile IV, and then we'll come back. No, I'm not going to do all that, but welcome to a huge freaking day on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. We launched a show today. Now, Junior, you got to unmute yourself, buddy, because I muted you. I figured it out. So somewhere it's going to say to unmute you. Steven, how does he unmute himself, Steven?
I asked him to do the ask for unmute, so it's giving him the unmute option to unmute.
It should be giving you unmute somewhere, Junior. All right, let me see here. Unmute request has been sent. Are you seeing a request? Where did the request come in, Steven?
I don't. Oh, and we lose him.
Oh, he's going to pop back on and be unmuted now.
Yeah, that will probably work and fix it.
That probably would.
Let's see. Moment of truth.
When I tell you you are in for a shit show tonight,
we're in one.
Be ready for it. Yes. So let's. And there he is. And he's unmuted. You know what we could do? You know how we make this a great show? We just mute him every time he comes on. Then he's got to go back out and come back on and come back and come back on. And
that's how we call it our shit show, folks.
Yes, the real shit show is after this show. So a heads up, Q. We're going till 8:30 tonight, and then Chef Golfhead is coming on for a little while. So if you're okay with that, I probably should have gotten you this info, but I was tied up today with Coach Ed and Rob. So they launched this massive show at 4 o'clock today. NCAA football coach Ed Warner and Rob Shumay. The show is called You Got Robbed because it's Rob and Ed. But then we talked about it and we're like, that's not a good name. It should be Don't Get Robbed with Rob and Ed or whatever, where Ed goes in and Ed broke down. Like he broke down the Army game this week with Tulane. And, he spoke to all the coaches because he coached there for 13 years. So he knows the team, he knows the program, he knows where everybody's at and what's going on. And so really good stuff. Go back and watch it. And tomorrow at 5 o'clock, they're going to be back on. And they're breaking down a whole bunch of games because they didn't realize how quick an hour can go by when you start riffing. Junior, you're coming live from the ATL, right?
ATL, baby. Or as they say, ATL, shorty.
Whoa! Now, are you getting Waffle House and grits and all that crap when you're up there?
I'm not a Waffle House fan.
Oh, dude!
Listen, I've traveled the United States, right? And from what my personal opinion is this: when a server goes to die, they work at Waffle House, and you can see them cook. They're picking their nose, putting it in the hash browns. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
You just ruined every trip I'm ever going to take to the Waffle House for the rest of my life with that image that you just put in my head.
That's what I see. That's what I see.
Well, you see that in Atlanta only, though, right? Because I just will never go to the Atlanta Waffle House again.
I'll never go to a Waffle House ever in my life.
So where are you going to, like Southern, like? Are you like my cousin Vinny? Do you know how long it takes to make grits? And you didn't go to the Sack of Suds, I hope, because they will lock your ass right up.
I'm at a good hotel. I get good food all day.
All right, nice room service. Look at this guy.
Yeah. The mystery meat of Waffle House is what's that green stuff Joe Q is saying?
That green stuff is mold, buddy. But you build up a tolerance if you eat there long enough, and then it actually the penicillin kills the COVID virus when you end up getting it. So, man, there's a lot on this list. Look, let's get the bleacher bet out of the way. I don't, Junior. You got a pick for Bleacher Bet, Steven. I'll bring you back on in a minute. Let me get this all set here. All right, but Junior, you got anything for Bleacher Bet tonight? Anything that you like that you want to get up?
I have a few locks for the week. A couple locks. I'm gonna go ahead and start with tomorrow night.
All right, hold on. I got to set the scene here. Like I said, this is a shit show tonight, and I got to take you, put you over there. Now you're probably going to be muted, so you're going to have to go out, run around the building, come back in, and no, you're good to go. Nothing changed. I'm positive. So what do you got? What do you like? Why do you like it? And how good are you at picking this stuff? Or you like the people that cook in the Waffle House and they're picking stuff and just throwing it in the grits?
Yeah. Don't listen. If anything, I think I can tell you what not to do when it comes to picking. So
now let's put this out there first, real quick.
Yes.
The guy is a Miami Dolphins fan, so that's got to say something. He's also a Cincinnati Reds fan. So if anyone can, without Googling it, quickly tell me anytime either one of these teams last won something, that would be pretty cool.
I think the Reds won in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s.
I think the 90s.
Steven, how old were you in the 90s? He's gone. Steven dips out. He immediately dips out to the candy store whenever he can.
Looks like Joe Q over there went with the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. Big red machine.
That's true. It
Rob
is.
Dibble.
Paul O'Neill. Randy Wild Thing Myers.
So many. Barry Larkin, my favorite baseball player ever.
Bro, if you ask me what happened yesterday, I have no idea. But if you ask me what happened in 1990, I can tell you. Giants and the 49ers both started out, I believe, 11-0, and then they played each other. And somebody had to win, and I think it was the Giants. And then the Giants went on to win a Super Bowl that year. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead. What do you like? We're not holding it again.
I like the Lions tomorrow night. I like the Lions over the Packers. Not only do I like the Lions at -3.5, but
where's the game?
It's in Detroit.
Oh, it's in Detroit. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I like the under. I think it's a division game. I think defenses will hold up, and it's going to be a lower scoring game. And I take the Lions with 3.5 on that parlay.
All right. Yeah, I kind of like that because the Thursday night games usually suck anyway, no matter who plays in them. So I like low scoring. But I what's the over under? What's the number?
51.5.
51.5. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this is like a 47-3 game.
I don't know about. I think it's going to be tighter than that, but I think it's going to be low scoring on both ends.
The Lions played crappy in their last game on Thanksgiving Day. They won, but they didn't live up to the expectations of that game. Yeah, so they got to make up for it, and they got to make a statement against Green Bay because it's a big rival.
They ruined my ticket last week. I'm going to be honest. I had the Lions on a lot of tickets, and nothing worked out.
Nothing worked out because of the Lions, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because Thanksgiving Day was the easiest day I ever saw in history. You knew what were the other games that day?
You had the Dallas, which was an easy pick as well, and then you had the Dolphins, which we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, and they were both easy picks. So I thought, wow, this is the easiest 3 games I ever picked in my life. And of course, game 1 just shits the bed on you.
Yeah, and then I went back and reinvested on Rebet, of course. And
nice.
And then I had the Dolphins in my next ticket. And
why would you do that, dude? All right. First rule. First rule of sports betting: never bet on your own team. You don't bet with emotion.
Yeah.
All right, because the Dolphins suck. Now I'm going to tell you this. The Dolphins are a lock this week coming up because they look like Super Bowl contenders when they play crap teams. And luckily for them, the Jets are rolling into town.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't expect a slap in the face from Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't put it past them. You know, it's the Dolphins we're talking about. You know, they're the Dolphins.
They're going to destroy the Jets. It's going to be complete annihilation. If you got the Dolphins -25 in that game, you're good to go.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this weekend, but I'm just not putting it on air. I mean, I'm going to do it.
I put it out there, and I only put out what I know is going to happen.
Well, let me tell you this.
Right, Steven, you do it. You do it, Steven. I'll stop, all right? Go ahead, Junior. I'm sorry.
if Joe Q is right and Aaron Rodgers dealer is in Miami this weekend, I'm coming down because I've been wanting to get on that shit too.
You have to be up there in the ATL, and you got to hold the fort down at the Waffle House, buddy.
Ayahuasca. All right. No, but going into the weekend, I definitely like the Browns over the Steelers. I think it's a division game. Browns beat them last time. I think the Steelers are overrated still. I like the Browns to cover that 6.5 spread.
Steven, how do I bleep out everything he's saying? Don't I have a button? Because he is way off. Is this the button? No, that's not it. I got a bleep button somewhere. You're out of your mind, bro. What are you smoking up there in Atlanta? The Steelers are going to steamroll the Browns,
What are you talking
bro.
about?
The Steelers are going to steamroll the Browns.
No, I don't think
there
so.
It is. That's the button
That's
right
it.
there.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it. No, I don't think so. I'm sticking to it. Old spread cover says it. I'm holding it down. I'll be 3-0 this weekend from my picks.
Steven, I got a task for you right now. If you can, go on YouTube, find Bleacher Brothers. There's 2 accounts.
Don't do it.
There's an old one, Steven. It's old. All right? We can't access it because we don't have the password. You got to go all the way back to like the very first video on there. The spread cover. Pull that up from me. All right? So you're taking Detroit minus how many points are they minus?
3.5.
3.5. Oh,
And I like the under.
And the under. All right. And then you took who you took the Browns.
The Browns plus 6.5. You heard it here. It's spread cover, baby.
Now you know who DTR is, right?
No.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson, quarterback for the Browns.
I like Jameis Winston.
All right. Well, yeah, he's backing up Jameis Winston now, but he's a good friend of ours. Good friend of the show. He did, yeah, good friend of Nick the Flick. This is keep in mind. All right, this is who you're taking picks from right now. Go ahead, Steven, play it, buddy.
This is Junior, a.k.a. the spread cover, a.k.a. if he can't pick it, nobody can. And to all the haters, BA, coming live from Snowy Field, Rochester, New York.
Rochester.
You got the spread cover here, giving you his locks of the week.
Now look at his jacket, FSU. When was the last time they won a game? When this video was made?
Let's do it, baby. We're going to start out with Arizona versus Carolina. Arizona on the road this year sucks. 3-5. Carolina at home, 8-0. Bomb. Arizona has no chance. The spread is kind of big on this one. Yeah, Carolina favored by 9.5. Take it. It's a lock. You know what?
Steven, pause it for a second.
Can we check
that? Here's what I need you to do, Steven. Look at the date on this thing when it was posted, and then go. Well, not right now. After we get done with it, and then go back and look up the results from these picks and see. We'll see how many he got right. All right, but okay, let it go. Keep playing it. Go ahead.
Parlay it. Take the under at 49. Lock. Okay. And as far as San Diego going into Pittsburgh, San Diego, Pittsburgh ain't Indy, buddy. All right, you going down this week. Okay. Look for Pittsburgh to cover. Take it at Pittsburgh plus 5.5. It's a lock, okay?
Why was I so excited?
Going to the Giants?
I don't know, bro.
It's just
That's
like
high
Baltimore
energy.
Going to Miami, baby, okay?
Chris Mad Dog Russo.
Like I felt like I had to be animated.
You're like Stephen A. Smith, bro.
Done. Giants out of the playoffs. You had
a lot better looking.
Enjoy it. It's gone, okay? Eagles take this. Take Eagles plus the 4 points, baby, because it's going to happen. All right. Now for my lock, for my 5-star lock, for my
5-star lock,
golden goose. Whatever you want to call it, if you want to make that money, this is the pick. The last game of the weekend I'm calling, Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens, okay? Now, let me tell you something. Tennessee at home, 7-1. Y'all are good. Baltimore on the road, 5-3. Not so good. Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, y'all are doing it this weekend. My lock of the week, my 5-star golden goose. Pick it if you got it.
Pick it if you got it.
Darren DeFord, Tennessee Titans, you guys are going down. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens, +4. And Darren DeFord, that right there is a fact. Okay?
Damn, with the props and everything.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends, tell your mama, tell your daddy, anybody you know, get on it.
That was special effects. Get Steven. You can get rid of that thing now for me, all right, please?
Please do, for God's sake.
How do you make it go away, pal? Or do I have to make it go away? Oh, yeah, I can make it go away. All right, I got it.
That was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Steven, what was the date on that? Was it 2008? 2009? Oh crap! Yeah, so go back and see the best you can do. At least that golden goose, pick it if you got it, or whatever the hell he said. Lock of the Tennessee Titans over the Baltimore Ravens. But all right, what else you got there, spread cover? What else you liking?
I think honestly, I can't even speak after what I just saw. I can't believe, like, I haven't been more embarrassed since I was on Ricky Lake, bro.
Damn,
Like-
bro, this guy is what you think. Last night I went on and on and on and on kicking it back with Matt about how I was in a movie, so I'm no different than Ryan Reynolds, who bought the Wrexham team, and I had brought the movie plaque down and showed him and the Sundance Award. But this guy's been on Ricky Lake. I mean, come on, bro. You know what it takes to, and were you the father or not?
I was the father.
Damn. Wow. And they're still married. So that shows you the strength of communication. Even if Ricky Lake has to mediate it, they're still married.
Thank you, Ricky Lake.
Exactly. Where the hell's Ricky Lake now? She's nowhere, but he's back.
I'm here.
He's back. And his picks are just as bad as they were 15 years ago.
The test of time, baby. The test of time.
All right. What else you got?
No, that's it. That's what I'm going for. Like I've been sucking, so I just went with my locks in the Golden Goose and pick it if you got it. Those three is what I got.
Mike Nelson checking in says that's gold. The spread cover is gold right there.
If Mike Nelson, aka Buns, co-signs it, we're good.
Buns. I don't know. I thought his code name was Beard, but all right, we can go with Buns. All right, look, I got to spit out a pick right now because I think this game may have actually already started or it's starting soon. The Celtics tonight, take them. I think they're minus 14.5 against Detroit, I believe. They're home. Any spread, it does not matter how high the spread is on the Boston Celtics. When they're at home, they cover. When they go on the road and they have these high spreads, they win, but they don't cover. Tonight, Boston Celtics, I think it's 14.5 over. And again, I believe it was Detroit. All I did was I wrote down Celtics right here. Also, I got a weekend lock for you. And I don't know, how much do you follow this MLS soccer thing?
Not really into it, man. I do want to get into it, obviously, with the hometown team there, Miami. I want to get into soccer.
Have you ever been into it or no?
I'm always when America's playing
Like a World Cup?
Stuff like that, obviously, always go for the USA and Mexico.
Okay. Yeah, I was never into it until I don't know, a few months ago, right, Steven? I just started getting into this. And good ways to educate yourself and really get into soccer. Watch Welcome to Wrexham. You know what that is? You know that whole story?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Okay. It's a documentary. It's 3 seasons. It's more not a documentary. It's more reality TV type of thing. And then the other thing that I watched was, what was that called, Steven? Oh, Ted Lasso on Apple TV. Again, it's not. It has to do with soccer, but it's so you can hate soccer and love Ted Lasso. But those are 2 things that really Matt, our soccer guy, suggested. He goes, watch Ted Lasso and you'll learn a lot, and I did. That being said, last week I took a 3-team parlay, and you don't necessarily want to follow every soccer thing I do, but I'm going to tell you some of the soccer things that I do, I don't. And where do you get our picks? Well, you get them here. We'll give you a couple freebies right here. I'm not vouching for the spread cover as part of Bleacher Bet yet. Okay, we're gonna have to see if he's improved at all. But I'll do some crazy stuff. And Toby tailed me the other day on some of this. But I had Liverpool because I'm learning about English soccer real quick, and they were playing Manchester City. Manchester City lost 5 in a row. It was this big thing. It's like their worst losing streak ever. And then the coach Pep they were just having a hard time. And Liverpool is just on fire. Although they didn't win today, they drawed today, which is unusual for them because they're at the top of the English Premier League and they're at the top of the Champions League right now. Soccer's whacked, bro. You play in like 3 different leagues at once, and then they go back and forth. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Is all that true? Like in Ted Lasso, I watch like if there's an upper league and a lower league, all that really works like that.
Yeah. So like with Wrexham, Reynolds and Rob McElhaney, They bought Wrexham, which is like the second oldest team ever. A programming update. Joe Q, pay attention to this. There will be no teabagging with Chef Tom tonight. So I just pushed you back a few. Go right back to where you want to go, Joe. And I apologize, and we will severely deal with Tom for this after the fact. But yeah, they bought this Wrexham team. And I remember watching, because I used to watch Sunny in Philadelphia, and they would play the commercials. Welcome to Wrexham, welcome to Wrexham, welcome to Wrexham. Yes, they probably are teabagging in Tijuana today. That's Tom and Frank. Oh, that's another big announcement we can make tonight, too. We got some huge friggin' stuff going on. But what had happened was the Olympics. So we did really extensive Olympic coverage on our website. And there was a big match. I don't remember who up there. Chef Tom checking in. I already plugged you, Tom, and now you bailed out. But that's all right. But you know what we'll do for that half hour? Steven, just queue up every spread cover or video from 2009, and we'll play them in a loop, all right? We can definitely do that, bro.
It'll at least be entertaining.
It's our network. We can do it. And then we'll look up the stats real quick and put them up there and say 0-12, 0-19, 0 in this, 0 in that.
We might be pleasantly surprised, and it might be good. Like, do that, Steven. Do that.
We'll do that. We'll investigate it this week, and we'll go back and find out what your old record was. We'll reveal it on next week's show.
I'll find my mojo.
We'll reveal it. So anyway, I shared this article from the Olympics, a soccer one, and then I was in Google Analytics at the time, and they have what they call live analytics, where you can see how many people on your website, what they're looking at, where they came from, and there's maps, kind of like we were talking about that other thing before.
Yeah.
And I watched South America just start to light up like a Christmas tree, because it had to do with Argentina was the article, and then I shared another article that had to do with France, and I saw Europe light up, and I'm like, oh my God, we got to get into soccer. And then I started researching. Soccer is by far the biggest sport in the world. So I'm like, all right, I got to learn about soccer. So I went home and I couldn't remember the name. I'm like, babe, what was the name of that show with the guy from Philadelphia? And I couldn't find it. And then when I found it, first episode, you know who Rob McElhaney is? You ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
He plays Mac
on
It's Always Sunny. So and him and Dee are married in real life. And Rob is the executive producer of that show. So he's got some money. So it starts out with him talking to the camera. And he's like, I grew up in Philadelphia and a huge sports fan. And Philadelphia sports fans are fanatical. Of all the cities I've ever been to, Philly is way over the top. I mean, they will stab you. They will kill you. They will climb a pole for you if you win. They are just dedicated. And he says, I would love to buy an NFL team, but I'm never going to be able to buy an NFL team. Somehow, yes, and Joe Q's claim to fame is that Rob McElhaney, I got this one, Steven, they went to the same high school. So just decades apart, that's all. Joe was there back in the 50s, and then Rob probably came through there in the 80s or the 90s. But so anyways, what was funny was, so we got
jail, right?
What's
only
that?
Only jail in an NFL stadium is in Philly, if I'm not mistaken. They have their own jail.
Yeah, I would assume that they have their own jail.
I'm pretty sure that they do. That's what I heard.
I think so. Joe, can you verify that? Joe will be able to verify that. Stephen, look that up in case Joe's busy right now. Joe's working, so he checks in and out. But so they're interviewing this guy McElhaney. He says, so I don't know how he got into soccer. He says, so I decided to buy a soccer team. Problem is they cost money, and I have TV money, but that's not enough. I need movie star money. And not only do I need movie star money, I need superhero movie star money. And then I need cell phone money. And he starts rattling off all these companies that Ryan Reynolds, invented or founded. And it was really funny because what the fuck else does this bitch own? And anyway, so they had never even met each other before they bought this team. But they bought this team. It was horrible. It was like the lowest league you could be in.
Mm-hmm.
They've been climbing ever since. And right now they're in second place, a point behind the leaders in EFL 1. So they only got a couple more bumps, and then they are literally in the English Premier League. So it's a really cool story. And it inspired me because now, so on Sunday, NFL Sunday, you know how many football games I watched? None.
Why is that?
Because I was busy watching soccer.
Oh.
I was watching Liverpool because I knew I would have to talk about it with Matt. And the great thing about this English soccer is the games start at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you watch the game, and they don't last forever. I mean, it's 45 minutes, no commercial breaks. They take 15 minutes off. They come back and play another 45. Done. You're out the door in 2 hours. Game over. You can get on with your day. So I knew we were going to talk about Liverpool. So I watched that, and I bet, because I know that Matt told me Liverpool's a really good team. So I did a little parlay. I took Liverpool, and then I went to MLS because they had the semifinals for the MLS Cup this week. And it was the New York Red Bulls playing against the Orlando Pride, I think is the name, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I've been paying attention and I follow trends when it comes to sports betting. I don't have graphs and charts and look at analytics and find out in the cold on a Thursday at 4 p.m. what this team will do. It's just Orlando City FC. You're right. Orlando Pride, I think, is the hell is the Orlando Pride, Joe? Isn't there Orlando
March.
Pride?
I think it's a March.
It's a March, yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. That is a March. And, of course, you knew that, so that doesn't surprise me either. The women's soccer league team. I knew there was a soccer league team there. Yep, Joe, point to Steven. Steven beat you to that one, Joe. Joe doesn't get paid to produce this show, but he usually outproduces all of us. He's just a fan and a listener. But so anyway, Orlando was a heavy underdog. They were plus 300. Liverpool was heavy favorite. So I said, all right, I'll do Liverpool. I'll take Red Bulls because I really thought the Red Bulls had a good chance to win because I've been paying attention to both of these teams. And then the other game was the LA Galaxy against the Seattle Sounders. LA was a heavy favorite, so I picked Seattle. And Liverpool won. The Red Bulls won. And then the last game, LA against Seattle, 88 minutes, it was 0-0. That's how you say 0-0 in English soccer. It's 0-0.
Yeah, proper English.
Yeah, I'm learning proper English. And anyway, to make a long story short, LA won. And I didn't get my parlay. But LA has this guy named Ricky Puig or Ricky something. Everything runs through Ricky. He is like, he's like the next Messi. He's young. He's 25-ish. The dude's dynamite. Tore his ACL in the first half of the game. Played the second half on the torn ACL. How many guys you see? You see McCaffrey the other day hurt his knee, went down immediately, and he's out of the game with basically the whole season on the line. This guy, Ricky Puig, played the entire game. They ended up winning, and now they are a heavy favorite against New York, but he's done. And I don't understand why the line has not changed. So if you want, even if you know nothing about soccer, and this is a great time, you want to get into soccer, go, because they're plus 300 right now, the New York Red Bulls. There is no way they will lose this game. None. Because the glue that holds it all together. Here's a good analogy. The Dolphins are a different team when Tua plays.
Absolutely.
All right. The Dolphins are a crap team no matter what. But when Tua plays, they can beat the crap out of other crap teams. That's just a fact. Go back and look at the numbers. You go back this year and last year and go look at the numbers. I'm wrong.
I'm not down what you're saying, man. It's facts.
It is. So anyway, like if Tua was still out and it was the Jets coming in, I wouldn't touch this game. But with Tua in there and what they've been doing since Tua's been back, I love them. Now you got to forget about last week because they played a good team last week and that's why they lost.
Right.
Now they're playing the Jets. The Jets are the worst team in the history of football teams.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, period.
But Joe Q is right, man. I'm like Darius Rucker.
You make the Dolphins cry? Or
Dolphins make me cry.
Yeah, the Dolphins make you cry, yeah. So where do you get our picks? Where you get the spread coverers picks, I don't know. I'm not lumping him in with us yet. But you join Rebet, all right? So there's all kinds of sports books out there. There's FanDuel and DraftKings, and everybody's got those because we all signed up to play fantasy back in 2007 or wherever the hell it was when they came out. But there's a new sports book. There's lots of other ones. There's BetMGM. We're friends with all of them. Caesars. Use our links. Bet365 is a great one for soccer. Fanatics is also a great sports book, which I love. But Rebet is available pretty much everywhere. I think in 47 states. And the thing with Rebet, it's sort of like a social network for sports betting. And you don't have to bet real money. If you just want to be in the action and have some fun, you can bet for basically it's like tickets. You get enough tickets, you go up to a certain level and you get prizes and whatnot. But on Rebet, if you use our link, and it's in the bio if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, use our link. They're doing a promo. They'll match your deposit up to $100. If you open the account with 100, they'll give you 200, okay? And then you follow Bleacher Bet, and that's where you get our picks every day. And we do a lot of live betting too, so set notifications. Hey, Bleacher Brothers just did this, because we'll do a lot of stuff as the games are happening. And we're really damn good at what we do. I mean, and this is all documented. This is not just me pulling numbers out of my rear end, Junior, because you can go back and look. We've been giving this stuff away on the shows and on the Bleacher Bet Instagram channel for almost a year now. Yeah. In basketball, I don't lose. Toby does not lose in baseball. The kid is just insane. I mean, we've got over 1,000 wins in less than 3 months because it counts your wins for you on Rebet too, which is really kind of cool. So go to Rebet.
I'm at 0 after this weekend. It was so terrible.
And that's the spread coverer for you. 15 years later.
I'm like a bad dad. I'll show you how not to bet.
Different outfit, same results. It doesn't make a difference. So, so check out Rebet and follow us. Use our link. If you don't use, I'll know if you use our link. And if you don't use our link, I'm not giving you our free picks every day. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
I think it's fair enough anyway. So let's do this. Let's take a real quick, just a short commercial break, because we have a commercial here. We got a sponsor. All right, so let's take a real quick commercial break. We'll play a song. We'll be back in a couple minutes, and we got way more. We got to get into this huge, I mean, it's not sports, but it's a huge AC/DC. We're going to talk about AC/DC. I want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, we got Joe from Palm Beach Water coming on with us in a bit. There's some FAU hockey news I want to get to, too. So if everybody just sits tight, and we'll be back right after these words. OPP, other people's picks, not the spread covers, mine. Steven, were you able to work up any stats, Steven?
Okay, the Ravens beat Tennessee 13-10 in that game on.
The Ravens beat the Golden Goose? Lock with the big dramatic open the whiteboard and it's up there? Fact?
Yeah.
Damn.
The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Chargers.
Who did he take? Who did he take in that game?
He took Pittsburgh.
Okay.
The Eagles beat the Giants.
He took the Eagles. I heard him say that.
So he's 2 for
But how
3.
hard is it to pick against the Giants? I mean, come on.
The Cardinals beat Carolina in Carolina.
Oh, I think I took Carolina on that.
So 2 for 4. 50%.
All right, you're on probation right now as far as picks, all right? You're going to have to prove yourself before we.
That's all right. I got you. I'm getting back in the game. I'm ready.
And we want your Maddox next week, all right? You're in a hotel. There's probably a meeting room. We want you to go down there, rent the meeting room for the night, whip the whiteboard open.
I got you.
In fact, so
I'll spend all day Wednesday. I'll give you 17 winners on freaking next Wednesday.
Because if you throw out a fact, Steven is going to fact check you. This is like a Trump debate. We're going to fact check everything that you say.
It's
and
not
nobody
fair when you only fact check me and not fact check you though.
Well, I'm Biden and you're Trump, or I'm Kamala. I don't say anything. I grew up in a middle class family, and everybody loved their lawn, and blah 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 blah. All right, so you claim to be a football fan, is that correct?
I am.
Okay. James Coates wants 17 winners. All right.
Actually, you know what? James Coates, I know him, man. He's been hot this year. He started out this year with $40 in his account, and he hasn't reinvested once.
Nice, but is he on a Rebet account? Because James Coates, you got to get on a Rebet account.
I told James Coates last weekend. I gave him the opportunity. What they have, like that $1,000 extra.
He had $1,000 on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, I told him. I don't know if he did or not.
And then Black Friday, they had a $500.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Those are unheard of. We know this because we're with all of these sports books. FanDuel, DraftKings, they'll up theirs a little bit at the beginning of football season or NCAA tournament, but I've never seen one where they'll give you $1,000 to sign up.
That's crazy. Insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It wouldn't matter much to me, but somebody else who does good, it means a lot.
Yeah. You could piss through. You could piss through 1,000 real quick with your picks. Exactly.
I'm getting away from that stuff.
All right, bro. The Chiefs. The Chiefs will not beat themselves. That's a fact.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Well, so do they lose it all? Let me pull their schedule up here for the rest of the season, and let's take a look. Now, where am I going to get the schedule, Steven? You have any idea where I can get the Chiefs schedule at? You better give me the right answer, Steven. Exactly, buddy. The Bleacher Brothers website. All right. Somehow I ended up on the other Bleacher Brothers website, which is the FAU Owl's Nest. But all right, Bleacher Brothers website. Let me go to the what do they play in, Steven? I'm sorry. I'm looking for them under the NBA.
Yeah, listen to your picks.
Hey, my picks win, buddy, because I don't overanalyze stuff. Okay. And you know this also on Bleacher Brothers, and I'll get this other thing that we have hooked up. So if you want to odd shop, because I do that sometimes. I mean, I love Rebet. Rebet's my first choice, but I'll go and I'll odd shop on Hard Rock, and I'll also odd shop because I got a guy who's got a Fanatics that I can do up in New Jersey. So wherever we get the best odds sometimes. But on BleacherBrothers.com, if you go to odds, you've got all the sports books. You got 5 of the biggest sports books there, and you can shop the different odds. But we also have this really cool junior parlay builder where you can go in there and put all kinds of different props and see what's going to pay out the most and yada, yada, yada. We just haven't hooked it up yet, but all right, so schedule. The Chiefs right now, the Chiefs are undefeated. Am I correct?
No.
Oh, they lost. Who beat them? Oh, that's right. The Bills did beat them. All right. They beat them in Buffalo. All right, so here we go. Let's go to this week. All right, Sunday night. The Los Angeles Lightning Bolts.
The Chargers.
Yes, that's also
What's the
known
spread?
as
What's the spread?
Well, now I got to go to another page now. But hang on, because I'm just looking on the schedule. So the spread. So I'm going to go to odds. So we'll go to betting. There's a whole betting section on our site. All the sports books are there. All the promos. All of this. All of that. So let's see here. What would you think the spread would be on this? The game's in KC.
I think it's got to be around 5.5, 6.5.
So, BetMGM has it at 4.
4.
Then Caesars has it at 4. DraftKings has it at 4. But FanDuel right now has got it at 3.5. And what does Rebet have it at? Steven, can you look up the Rebet odd real quick?
Yep, checking right now on the app.
Okay, and Tom's saying 6.5. Nope, it's not 6.5. Maybe it is on Rebet, but I'm gonna guess on Rebet it's probably 3.5 to 4. It should fall in line.
Well, I bet with Chef Tom, and I'll take the 6.5 on the Chargers.
Okay, KC minus 3.5. All right. Yeah, I would. I don't know what the Steven. See if you can pull up against the spread. Chargers this year, not the Chargers and Kansas City against the spread this year. What are their records? Okay,
KC can't be that good against spread. Too many close games.
Yeah, they're all close games. Everything is a close game. I completely blacked out on the Buffalo game. And how serious?
That's also the team that's going to take them down. I think Buffalo is going to take the AFC this year. I don't care where they finish, 1, 2. I think Buffalo has what it takes this year to go ahead and take KC out.
Here's the problem. What was the final score of the Buffalo KC game? That just happened a couple of weeks ago, so I can go back and look at that here real quick. Right? Was that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
Here we go, week 12. Is it in week 12? Let me see. Chargers are 8-4 against the spread, and they're 8-4 overall, aren't they? 30-21. Buffalo won that game 30-21 against Kansas City. I don't want. All right, so they cover. They cover. What would that be? They would cover 66% of the time, right? If they're. All right, yeah. Everything that Kansas City does is close. Now, the one game that wasn't close was Buffalo. Well, I got you because the playoffs and the Super Bowl are in 25. Why does Kansas City win close games?
I think you just said it. They don't kill themselves like most other teams do. They don't falter under pressure, and they got a great leader. Patrick Mahomes he's that guy. You know.
How do you bet against him?
I don't like him. No, I've made the spread covers made money off of him. Trust me, I love that guy.
Really?
But I'm not really feeling them this year at all. I think they're overrated. Just like the Steelers, like I went with the Browns. Bills are the team to take them out this year, and I think that everything that you guys just rattled off stat wise, I mean, just shows what's going to happen the rest of the year.
Can you think back to last season? And do you remember how last season the Chiefs had nothing but problems?
Yep.
And they had no receivers, and any receiver they had would drop the ball. And nobody said, oh, yeah, they're going to go on and go to the Super Bowl again and win it. Right. And they went all the way to the Super Bowl with that cast of clowns, and they kept the game close, and Patrick Mahomes single-handedly beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So at this point, unless Kansas City has some sort of major collapse, they're going to have home field, which means that Buffalo is going to have to go into Arrowhead.
Well, that's one game, though, right? So let's just say Chargers pull out this week. Buffalo, I think, what does Buffalo? Yeah, Buffalo wins. I mean, then Buffalo has a tiebreaker. Changes the entire environment of home field advantage.
What is Buffalo's record right now?
They only have 2 losses.
Where the hell are they not playing this week? I'm not seeing
I'm just
Buffalo.
going off the top of the head.
They're right here. They're there. Yeah, they're 8-2. They're playing the Colts this week, so they should win. It's in Indy.
Yeah.
They should win that game. Let's go through. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm in the wrong week. Never mind. Hold on. What week are we in? We're in 13? No, we're in 14. Week 14. All right. Scratch that. All right. Now let me see. Well, who the hell is Buffalo playing this week? Buffalo. How great was that game to watch the other night, though, in the snow? I thought it was a good game to watch. It was fun. That's football to me.
Right. That old school toughness. It's beautiful. I mean, it's 25 degrees up here right now where I'm at, and I just couldn't imagine playing in anything less than this in with moisture, precipitation, snow, rain. Like, oh my God. These guys are animals, man. They are true soldiers.
So Buffalo goes to Los Angeles to play the Rams.
Oof.
That's not going to be.
That could be a tough game.
That could be a coin flip. Now let me go over here and check the odds on this game, and see what we got with Buffalo. Buffalo is. Wow, the odds are all over the place here on the books. Anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 between the four majors, which is Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetMGM. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo wins. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this game. I would, however, be surprised if Kansas City loses.
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. But again, it's a spread cover, so you heard it here first.
3.5 on Rebet. Okay. Dude, the following week, Buffalo's got to go to Detroit. That's a loss. That's not just a loss. That's an ass-whooping loss. Detroit is for real, bro. Detroit's rolling all the way through to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but we didn't see that against Chicago.
It was a blip, bro. That's all. It was just a blip.
Thanksgiving Day blip.
There was a Thanksgiving Day blip, which was surprising because they usually play well on Thanksgiving Day. Who is Kansas City up against next week? Oh God, the Niners are so done. They have to go to the Rams next week. Kansas City goes to Cleveland next week, so there's a win for Kansas City.
Hey, but I got a question real quick. You were just talking about the Niners. I can remember, like, in the show, I could have sworn like 3 weeks ago, you were talking about how they're about to take over the NFL.
They're finished. They're completely done now. When McCaffrey went down, that was the end of it.
Okay.
And Brock Purdy looked so bad the other night in the snow. And they just can't find the end zone, bro.
It's like the Dolphins. I'm going with Michael Nelson on that Super Bowl. Detroit and Buffalo. I'm going that way.
After last year's Super Bowl, I just can't bet against Patty Mahomes. I'll sit it out. But
you know what?
I can't bet against him.
We could do a friendly bet on Rebet.
We could do a friendly bet on Rebet. Well, we still have to bet for money. Or we could bet for just Rebet coin or whatever the hell it is, like Monopoly money on there.
Then my Rebet coins will look like my money. Zero,
exactly. Look, the NFL is not my thing. I either see it or I don't. I don't. I mean, this week, the only thing I see this week is I see Miami. That is literally what I see this week. And what was the line on that? Is it? Let me go back to my odds page right here.
Not that it matters, right?
Miami is minus six to 6.5. Miami wins by 25.
Miami wins by 25?
Yeah. Miami wins by 25. But then if we go to next week, let's take a look at Miami here real fast, and we'll see where is Miami the following week. Are they on a bye the following week? This late in the season, teams are still getting buys.
I know there's some teams with buys this
week. They go to Houston, so that's a loss when they go to Houston, and they're still in the playoff picture here. And then that's it. I can't get odds for week 16 after that, but I like Miami as a. I'll give it to you right now. I'll put that with tonight's Celtics game, and I'll put that with the Red Bulls, Miami Dolphins lock. And if you all remember 2 weeks ago, and you were all surprised. They said the Miami Dolphins were a lock to win. I don't remember who they were playing, but they stomped the crap out of whoever they were playing.
Yeah, no, I remember. And then the week after that, apparently they have San Francisco, which should be an easy win as well.
It's at home.
James, is it at home? Give me that info. You're the season ticket man.
Well, I got the schedule right here. What, in week 16? Let me go. Week 16. Pittsburgh, Baltimore coming up. Pittsburgh's 9-3, and you're calling them pretenders, bro.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, San Francisco's coming to Miami. They're gonna get crushed unless somehow McCafferty makes his way back. But I'm hearing he's out for the season.
Steelers are riding on good coaching right now. It's gonna fall apart.
Are we too down on Russell Wilson because of his whole Denver little fiasco there?
No. I think Denver was the wrong situation, not right opportunities. I think Russell's a good quarterback. I don't think he's elite. I never really have. So I think he's a good game management quarterback, and that's kind of what you need with a good coach and the surrounding cast that he has there. I mean, he's been playing good ball, but I think it's more of a system thing right now. I don't think it's all on him.
Steven, where are you going, Steven? Where you just went for Twinkies 3 minutes ago. Where are you going?
Stretching.
He's stretching. All right, Steven, do me a favor. What's the coach's name again of Pittsburgh?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. Steven, look up his record as head coach. Tell me the last time he had a losing season. He's never had a losing season.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, no, he's had to have one.
I don't think he has. And you know what? You're calling him Buns. I called him Beard.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to send Steven back to look for this one because it'll be like a needle in a haystack, but he's Yankee legs.
Yankee legs, yep.
He's Yankee legs. And we have that. We have that. Yeah. So you want to talk about getting lucky. Profeta, Chef Tom, I don't know how he picks these things, but he plays money lines. So it's easy to hit a money line. But when you do an 11-bet parlay, all money lines, you're bound to have a clunker in there somewhere, right?
You think so?
Yeah. So on Sunday, he calls me up, and he was 9 for his first 9. And the games he had left were the Eagles. Who the hell were the Eagles playing? The Ravens? Yeah, the Eagles were playing the Ravens this past weekend, I think. And then he had Buffalo. And they offered him, I think his total payout, what the hell was it, Tom? The total just made $75 10-bet payout for, yeah, okay. The payout would have been $42,000, but they gave him like $1,700 to cash out early. And I feel a little bit bad because I wasn't really quite sure what would happen in that Eagles-Baltimore game. So we cashed out, and he ended up hitting the last 2.
Oh, man.
But still, it was a $50 bet. So you take 50 and you turn it into $1,700. That's pretty good. But he could have turned it into thousands.
I'd have been pissed at you, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, the bet would have been $68.90 is what he would have won.
Oh,
but still, 11 bet. Yeah,
a win's. I mean, I'd rather take a for sure 17 than possibly lose 69.
Yeah, like he inspired me, and I didn't put this out because this was me goofing around, but he inspired me. So on Sunday, I did a 10-bet all money line NBA. And of course, I won the first 9, and they offered me a buyout. And I'm like, no, this is the NBA. I got this. I lost the last game.
Oh,
Mother. But I only did it for, like $25.
right.
So, it would have paid me maybe $2,000 because they're all money lines. So you're talking like minus 300. Some of them are minus 1,000.
I've done it before. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll pick 5 or 6 for sure money lines, just to make a couple bucks. It's better than making a big risk and losing money.
Look, if you follow us on Rebet, I'll make any of these parlays. If I do any outrageous parlays, I'll make them public for you to see that you're following us.
Yeah.
But just know that is not. I'm not calling that a lock. I'm not calling that a. Of course, if it wins, I'm going to brag about it forever. But don't take that to the bank because I can't guarantee a 10-game parlay.
Of course, but let me ask you this. This is something that I tend to do a lot. If I do a parlay, let's just say 3 teams, I'll tend to insure them with, buying points. A teaser, like depending on the sport. Like I'll do that as well to kind of insure my money. Is that something that you do as well?
Never do.
Never.
I never do. I'm always, when I bet parlays, I'm going for like a lotto sort of payouts. And when you start messing with the points, the payout comes down dramatically.
Right. It's insurance. That's the way I look at it. Insurance.
But I'm not looking for insurance on my insurance is I have all 10 of these games bet individually. So I know I'm going to win.
Okay.
So if I won 9 out of 10 bets, I lost the last bet in the parlay. So did I win for the day? The hell yeah, I won for the day. I won 9 out of 10 games.
Right.
But I was really going for that parlay because, if I could throw up on the screen right now and show you that I went for 10, that's impressive, right?
Yeah.
If I tell you I won 9 bets, it's still impressive, but it's not as impressive as showing you a ticket that's all green at the end.
Right. No, I mean, it's like you said, it's insurance. It's a different way. It's actually made me think it's a better way. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of so-called gambling experts that they come with their stats and all of their analytics and all this crap, and they'll give you so much BS. They're highly against parlays. Parlays are for suckers, parlays this, parlays that.
Right.
But I follow this guy, Andy Slater. You know who Andy Slater is?
Never heard of him.
You got to follow him on Twitter if you're on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, you need to get on Twitter, or X as it's called now. Andy Slater's a big radio guy down here in South Florida.
Okay.
Last year, he took the Hard Rock for like $200K over 3 weeks. And he was doing player prop parlays. And he would just hit and hit and hit. And the final one, like on the 4th week, was like 190 grand. And he needed one player on Monday Night Football to, I think it was so many receptions.
Yeah.
And they were offering him payouts, and he didn't take the buyouts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking major money. You're talking like 70, 80 grand they were offering him. He didn't take it, and he ended up losing that last one. It made national news. I mean, everybody knew who Andy Slater was at that point.
Damn.
Yeah. He's really good. You got to follow that. He's on Instagram, too. I think he might be putting out pics on Instagram now also. He tried to put it behind the paywall on Twitter, but I guess not a lot of people subscribe. We took the paywall down. Back out there. But yeah, Andy Slater. He's Slater Scoop might be his handle. Joe from Palm Beach Water, who sponsors Looch On Ice, and Looch is not going to make it to Looch On Ice tonight. But Joe, my sound is off. You can't hear me?
It's in and out.
How about you, Steven? Are you hearing me? We're going in and out.
Yeah.
I don't know why. All right, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break. I'll play a song. Let me see if I can correct my sound. Joe Q saying he can hear me fine. But we'll take a quick break. When we'll come back, we'll talk some hockey with Joe. We got to get to this AC/DC great big breaking news. So everybody sit tight. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, all right? Everybody listening is telling me that my sound is good. Just you two can't hear me. Maybe I was moving away from the mic. This is the theme song for anyone who plays the Spray Coverers picks. Oh, we got to bring a Carrick Rangers. You ever hear of the Carrick Rangers, Junior? Oh, yeah, we got a big, huge Carrick Ranger update, too. We talked about this last night on Kicking It Back with Matt. I'm going to tell you that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney inspired me. What's that? I'm a step ahead of you, buddy. I'm already an owner of the Carrick Rangers. I have no pull. I'm a minority owner, but I'm in. And the plans are for Matt and I to hit Europe next year and do a Liverpool game and a Wrexham game, and then, of course, a Carrick Ranger game, because part of me being an owner of the Carrick Rangers is if I'm there, I get owner's box.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Does Germany have any good teams?
I don't know. I haven't made it to Germany yet. I'm sure they do. I'm learning England. I'm learning a little bit about Ireland.
Because I just found out my kids and my wife are German citizens.
Your kids and your how is that possible?
Because my mother-in-law is a German citizen, and the way their laws go, so that automatically made my wife a German citizen, and then her kids are automatically German citizens. Last year, though, they stopped that, and if my kids want their kids to be German citizens as well, they have 1 year after birth to apply for citizenship.
Okay.
So it's awesome, man. I'm super excited.
Have you been over there yet or no?
No. We plan on going. We want to go soon. Her grandmother's, a little bit older, so we want to get out there.
Our mic is still on. I don't know what you're talking about, Tom. Guys, you hear me? Joe, you hearing me? Tom sending me, says our mic is still on. I don't know what that means. Germany's awesome, bro. I was stationed in Germany in the Army.
Yeah.
I don't remember a whole lot. But
That's
Germany,
my kind of place.
Yeah. Germany was my kind of place back then.
Yeah.
I haven't had a drink in probably a decade at least. For no reason. I never struck you as an alkie, did I?
No, not at all.
I just woke up one day and said, you know what? Been there, done that.
Right.
Don't need it anymore.
I think everybody hits that point at some point.
Yeah, and plus it's hard to afford alcohol when you have such a crack addiction like I do. So I had to give up something.
Priorities, man.
Yeah,
you don't have them.
Yeah. So I came across on Facebook. I'll show you this while we wait for Joe here, but because you know how you Google one thing on Facebook and then you have all kinds of, or you don't Google, but you search for something on Facebook or Instagram, and then every single ad that you see is for a similar sort of product.
I think I've seen something like this on TED or TED 2 when Mark Wahlberg keeps when he Googles anything, something always pops up.
I never saw TED 2, but yes, you get, like if you search for mobile IVs, all of a sudden every single ad you see is for mobile IVs.
Or just talk about it, right? Talk about it next to your phone.
Yeah, exactly, because they hear everything. So I'm doing all this soccer research, and then something pops up about the Carrick Rangers. Buy an ownership in a 100-year-old Irish soccer team. So I took a look into this. It was one of these sort of crowdfunding sort of places.
Yeah.
I didn't spend a whole bunch of money. They have different levels where you can buy in. But I did my research. I was on a Slovenian team first. But I asked Matt and I asked Nick Lee, who's a big MLS guy who was on with Matt one night, if Slovenia football, soccer was a thing. And they was like, no, not really. So I kept searching, and I found the Carrick Rangers, and here's a highlight of this.
24 minutes on, goal for Carrick Rangers. Scored by number 34, Johnny Gibson.
The good news is we got an in because we're owners.
I'm inspired. Do they have a $10 bracket where I can get in?
No, I think the minimum was $100 that they had.
Shit, I can do 100.
And it goes up. It goes up to like 5,000. I of course I didn't go that high. I don't have that kind of scratch laying around right now. The bad news is in the league that we play in, which is called the NIFL, which is the where the hell is it? I got it here. What does the NIFL stand for?
National International Football League.
National Ireland Football League, not the National
Okay.
International knucklehead. Out of 12 teams, we're currently in 10th place. So it looks like we need some work, but I'm sure that they're going to take the large sum of money that I put in there,
Yeah.
and go out and buy some really good players, or get some players to transfer in or something. But
So this is the Ireland League?
there's so many leagues in Ireland. It's that same pyramid.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume, I haven't done a lot of investigating yet. But yeah, I'm assuming that we're like down here in the tip of the pyramid. So we gotta climb way up. But still, the team's been around for a long time. The team has been profitable. When was the last time the Miami Marlins were profitable? Can anybody tell me that?
I don't know, but listen, we just got a comment. Samantha Paris says, "Dang, you're just like Ryan Reynolds, but better looking." AJ.
That's right. And I don't wear the mask like Ryan Reynolds does in Deadpool.
Right. You don't need it. Handsome.
But they inspired me. But now Matt has inspired me. He says, "Why didn't we buy Wrexham?" And I'm like, "Well, Wrexham is not doing something." And he's like, "Well, we didn't even try." So when you tell me something like, "Why didn't you do this?" or "You can't do this,"
Right.
I am going to try to somehow get. And Matt agreed, because I think Matt's got a little bit of money behind him. Matt agreed to kind of partner up with me if I can weasel even a half a share of Wrexham. That would be pretty dynamite, and then be partners with, and everybody's like, LeBron James owns a huge part of one of these English teams. Tom Brady owns one. Tom Brady owns the team that's in the same league that Wrexham in, which is the English Football League One. So we're going to work on that and see what happens. There's no rule that you can't own multiple sports teams.
If you want, I'll call Blake and see if she can get a hold of Ryan, see if we can get you a part of it.
Well, I revealed last night that I used to date Blake, and that was my in there, and then
okay. I did not know that.
Blake didn't know it either. No one knew it. I immediately retracted the comment. Unlike saying I will never pardon my son and then pardon him. But let me ask this, and I'm not gonna get all political, but
yeah.
If it's your kid, aren't you gonna pardon him?
Who was it? Geraldo came out and said it was his son. Who wouldn't do that for their kid? I agree. Who wouldn't do that for their son? But the thing is you're supposed to paint this portrait of what America's supposed to be, and other people are the enemies and they're bad. But then why are you going to lower yourself to their standards? You know what I mean? Like that pissed me off. I'm gonna be honest.
All they did was, and I'm not going to get political, but state facts. Where's the board? I need a board like that so I can whip it open and say fact. Okay, Even order me a board back here so we can whip it open and have it, or give us an effect. Boom! That just pops up that says fact.
Like the old Batman effect that went pow.
Yeah, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Fact, right there.
I like it.
All they did was put Trump through the ringer and prosecute this guy.
Right.
And talk about what a bad guy he was and this and that and the other thing. And I will never pardon my son. I will not pardon my son. I will not pardon him. I will absolutely, positively will not. Then he does. Nobody believed that you weren't going to pardon your son because anyone would do it. But the pardon is an 11-year blanket pardon,
Right.
which dates back specifically to the time that he got involved with getting millions of dollars from Ukraine and China.
Yeah.
So what he did is this is an attempt to not only pardon the son, but to pardon himself, because where was all that money funneling up to? It was funneling up to the big guy.
And it's just, I think there's more to come. Actually, I mean, if with the blanket pardon, there's a lot more to come.
There is, and I think that the Congress, the Senate, all these committees, they're already looking for a way to get in there. And if you don't think that Trump and Trump's government are going to go after this and try to clean this up, you believed every single time that Joe Biden said, "I'm not going to pardon my son," so which is kind of crazy.
I agree.
So it looks like Joe might be ghosting us tonight too. I know he sent me a text a few minutes ago, but I thought he said he was getting in. He may have lost signing on right now. He said that 20 minutes ago, but I'm not seeing him. So big news that I was waiting to hear. All right. Give me a band, a singer, any artist that you've never seen live and in person that you would love to go see.
All time.
Yeah, all time. There you go. Look at that comment first.
Junior for president 2028. Damn right. Where's my board at? Where's the effect, Steven? Pow! I got a Kanye mask. I can go grab my Kanye mask and put it on if you guys want.
JJ Watt, also ownership in a team. Will you pardon me for anything I may have done or things that I will do in the future? If you can give me a blanket pardon for the future, I will wreak havoc all over the globe.
What biggest crime? Throw it out. Like, I mean, it's your own purge, your own pardon. You have 24 hours. What are you doing?
I can't say that, bro. I know what it is, but I can't say it. And it's nothing sick or perverted or anything like that against any females or children or anything like that. No, but I got a whole. You ever see Billy Madison, the movie?
Yes.
Do you remember the character Dan McGrath?
List. Tell me which one. I'll know what it is if you say.
He had a list. He showed up at Happy Gilmore spelling bee and shot somebody in the ass.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I have my own Dan McGrath list. So, and I think I might be a better shot than Steve Buscemi was in that movie when he played Dan McGrath. But Jimi Hendrix, who is that?
With my dead list, it is Jimi Hendrix.
All right, well, they got to be alive. They got to be alive. Not all.
Honestly, it's not going to be rock.
Okay, well, yeah, all right.
For a live person, it's going to be Garth Brooks.
You don't want to see Menudo get back together and go see them?
No, I heard some stuff about the Menendez brothers, a Menudo boy. Like, I'm over that.
Okay. But you used to have one of the buttons, right? Are you too young? You're not that young. You're close to me. Do you remember the buttons? Like the Ricky Button? And I don't know who any of the other people were.
I would never touch the Ricky Button. That's all I'm saying. That one's off limits for me.
Uh-huh. I see. All right.
No, but Garth Brooks, without a doubt, hands down. My number one artist I'd want to see live.
Really? Let's get Luker in on this too and see here. Steven, who would you, and for you, Steven, it doesn't have to be an artist. So here's how Steven, and who the hell was I talking to about this? I was talking to somebody today. I was talking to Drew. I went out to lunch with Drew and Toby today, and we were talking about Radio Row and how it's a lot of work and it's not as much fun as you think it is. And I talked about what a great job you did producing and how you brought us Patrick.
Yeah.
Right. What's his real name? I don't remember his real name.
Let me see.
And I didn't even know who Patrick was. And we made Patrick wait because Bonnie Jill was our first guest that day, and she showed up really late. But we really wanted Bonnie Jill, so we made Patrick wait. You know who Patrick is, Junior, from SpongeBob SquarePants?
Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking you were talking about SpongeBob.
I think you're listening to the Bleacher Brothers. Can you believe these guys? Hey, I got a secret. I don't think they're really brothers. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, he was a great interview, but Steven hustled him up. Another thing that Steven hustled up, and I didn't even know what the hell this was until after the fact, but Steven went to the party the night I was sick, met the guys from BattleBots. You know what BattleBots is, Junior?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and got like VIP access, right, Steven, to BattleBots, and got a T-shirt and got all kinds of stuff because he's a big BattleBots fan.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And it's Bill Fittigbake.
Yeah, that's right. I remember he had that crazy name.
Yeah.
And he was on Coach, and he's done a lot of things. He's not just the cartoon sort of character. So, Steven, anything.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome to get that voice on there like that.
No, it was pretty cool. I got one. I just got to go back and mix it up. We had Lorenzo White. You remember Lorenzo White, running back, Houston Oilers. I think he played for Cleveland for a little while. It's like the late 80s, early 90s.
No, I'm thinking like
all pro, really good.
Number 44 is coming in my mind, but I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't know if that was his number. He went to Michigan State, but we had him in studio one time, and I had him do a drop. You know, you're listening to the Bleacher Brothers Show.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to get it because it literally took like 35 takes for him to be able to say it. It's so funny hearing him screw it up time after time after time. I got to get that and load that up. But Steven, anything that you haven't done, any music group, any competition, anything? I mean, you've done it all, bro. You've been to Savannah Bananas. You've been to the Super Bowls. You
won Super Bowl.
BattleBots. What is it? If there was one thing. And anybody watching too, if I see Jimi Hendrix up there, if you're eyeballing, what's on your bucket list that you may not be able to pull off?
Just like I wish to see like Elvis Presley.
All right, you got to stop Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix. They got to be alive. You're not going to be able to see them.
Maybe if you're lucky, you'll see them one day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you go to hell, I'm sure you'll run into old Sinatra.
Probably something Olympic
Hendrix.
related. Go to the Olympics and watch an event live in person.
Well, that's going to happen. That's a given, bro. You don't think that when the Olympics are right there in your backyard, you're not going to be there? We'll have you there, buddy. We're all going to be at the Olympics in L.A.
I'll probably take parts of it and do the Oklahoma part, too. They have it there, too.
Joe Q wants to go to the Derby or Wimbledon.
I definitely am down for the Derby. I want to go to the Derby so bad.
Not me. No shot do I want to go to the Derby. But
I'll even wear the hat, dude. I'll wear a hat, all that.
The Deftones. There you go. All right. So, and let me give you, while Joe Q brought it up, the Derby. There's way too many people at the Derby. I don't like people. I like going like we used to go. Do you remember when we went and Barbaro broke his leg, but we had the horse that won the race when Barbaro, and I forget the horse's name. Joe probably knows it off the top of his head.
You had it.
Yeah, I had it. We made a fortune. We were on a good little roll back then. If I see things, I see them, and if I don't see them, I don't.
Right.
But there is a Bertadini. Was it Bertadini that? I don't know. That I don't think you're right, Joe. What year would that have been? 07, 08, 09?
Not on Kearney.
Steven, give me Kentucky Derby winners between 2005 and 2012 or 13.
I remember one year we went and we were watching the races. I was with my wife. We did I can't remember if it was the Preakness or the Belmont. It was one of the big races. It wasn't the Derby though. And they had 13 races or whatever. The first 12 we bet, we lost everything. And then it was the last race. I didn't want to bet because it didn't matter anything. The main race was over.
2006, Steven, go ahead.
Barbaro or whatever, however.
Barbaro won the Derby. Who won the Preakness? That's what I need to know. Barbaro broke down in the Preakness, not the Derby. In 2006. Go ahead, Junior. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So she ended up picking just by the numbers. She picked a 29-1 horse to win win first, and then it was a 20-1 or something like that to finish second. Made back all our money, man. Just off some crazy looking at the numbers, doing some picks.
That's like a 10-game parlay.
It is. The last one won it.
So while Steven is looking this up, and yes, Smarty Jones. I remember Smarty Jones. Love Smarty Jones. There's something called you're telling me Bernardini is the winner, Joe, of the 2006 Preakness?
He is correct.
Really? All right. Well, that's the horse I had. I thought he had a different name, but I don't care what his
Sounds
name
right.
was.
Sounds right.
All right.
I
But yeah.
remember that year. Yeah, we were together that year.
Yeah, we were at the Kennel Club. It was a bittersweet victory because you felt bad for Barbaro, but cashing them gigantic tickets always makes the pain go away. So
Yeah.
there's something called the Preakness, the Pegasus, which is a big racing day, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. And they run it down here at Gulfstream in January.
Yeah.
We floated this around, and I think I might have tied it down yesterday because Defo does a show every Friday from Gulfstream, and he's very connected there. Tom and Frank did a live broadcast from the Breeders' Cup. Breaking news: Joe's in on the Pegasus. No shit, Joe. You were the first guy I said you're in on it. But Tom and Frank were out at the Breeders' Cup in where the hell was that? Delmar. Yeah, Delmar last month, and they just sort of impromptu went live, and it got a gazillion views, and the content was really good. They had guest after guest after guest after guest. The production, there were some issues with the sound and whatnot, but by watching it, I was able to learn, all right, this is what we would need to do. So it looks like that we're going to be full force out there at the Pegasus at Gulfstream in January. And
I'd love to
Bleacher
be
Brothers
part of
will be
that.
broadcasting live. We'll get you in on it. We'll get you in on it. So who is it on your list, Junior? It was who that's alive? Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
All right, and Steven wants to do the Olympics, which that's going to happen.
Well, I thought we were talking about entertainers. That's why I was saying.
Well, I threw it out. I kind of made it wide open for Steven.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he's really into it. Is there a musical? Don't say Taylor Swift, Steven, or I'll delete you immediately from the screen right now.
Nope. It's not Taylor Swift.
Is there a singer?
I'll probably say I want to go see JoJo Siwa.
JoJo Siwa. That's even worse than saying Taylor Swift. You realize that, right?
I think so too.
JoJo Siwa is definitely not going to be dating any Chiefs. That's for sure.
And at least I can name at least one Taylor Swift song. Who I don't even JoJo is she a character from Full House? I don't even know what the hell that is.
She was in Dance Moms.
JoJo Siwa was a YouTuber for kids mostly, but then she grew up and she came out of the closet, and that's fine. Whatever you do with your life is fine, but
Right.
you can't be influencing little kids on things like that in my book.
Exactly.
That's how I go. So
And Joe Q is saying Billy Joel for a concert.
yeah, I have no. I'm not a big Billy Joel sort of guy myself, but so for me, it's been a group. All right, since I
They're
was a
laughing
kid.
at JoJo Siwa, whatever her name is, in the comments.
Yeah, we should have known with JoJo. I see, yeah, JoJo right there. Look at Tom just bragging about all his winning parlays and the bet there. He keeps his mouth shut though publicly about the over $100,000 he won playing a friggin' slot machine on. I'll shut up, Tom. But in New Jersey, when he went up on vacation and then came back and started buying everybody luxury gifts, and we're like, what the hell happened here? But anyway, Tom's a good dude, and Tom's even a better dude when he's loaded down with $100,000 winning. When I was a kid, it was AC/DC. I loved AC/DC my entire life, and I have a 136K. And I got to tell you this: I have a connection inside the New Jersey Gaming Commission, and not that I doubted Tom, but I had to get it verified. And it verified through my connection at the gaming. They couldn't tell me the name of the winner because that would have put his job in jeopardy. But he was able to tell me the date and the sports book and the amount, and it was right in that neighborhood right there. So
That's awesome.
that's real awesome. It couldn't happen to a better guy because all they were really doing is paying him back for the last 20 years that he spent in Las Vegas, and they probably still owe him another $200,000 or $300,000. Fact. All right, right there. So AC/DC, and I have this really vivid remembrance of AC/DC Thunderstruck. I believe that the song came out and the album came out. It's Razor's Edge in the must have been 1990, maybe 91. Steven, can you look that up for me?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I was
1990.
1990. So I was
You're
in
correct.
Germany. I was in the service, and in Germany, it's January, so it's like 40 below zero, snow up to here, and we were going to some club somewhere, and we got out of the taxi, and all I hear is AC/DC Thunderstruck, and I never heard the song before, but AC/DC just has a sound that you know it's AC/DC,
Right.
one note, and I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest song ever. And I mean, it's blasting. We were like 2 blocks away from the club, and you could hear Thunderstruck playing. So fast forward to around 2009, when spread cover was a thing. We also were in the ticket business. I don't know if you remember that, but we had season tickets to the Dolphins. I'm embarrassed to say that. We had season tickets to the Cowboys the first year in Cowboy Stadium, Yankees in old Yankee Stadium, and new Yankee Stadium, Phillies, Mets. If you wanted Disney on Ice, I could hook you up. We had everything. And we had AC/DC tickets in Tampa, and we didn't sell them. And I did not go and use the tickets. And I was like, all right, I'll get another chance. So then my wife gets sick years later, and we got back from that, and AC/DC was on tour, and I said, I got to do this because this is probably the last time. And I go, they were coming down here to Coral Springs, whatever that's called now, where the Panthers play. They changed the name so much.
Yeah.
So I went to buy the tickets, and I looked up, and it said AC/DC with Axl Rose. And I'm not a big Guns N' Roses guy. I mean, they were good. I like some of their stuff, but I'm not an Axl Rose guy. So I thought, all right, Axl Rose is opening up for them. I guess that's cool. No, Brian Johnson went deaf. So during the tour, so Axl Rose stepped in as the lead singer, and I'm like, F this. It's not the same. I'm not going to see AC/DC if it's not AC/DC. And then they didn't tour. That was it. We thought it was done. Last year, they came out and they announced a tour. I was like, yes, I'm doing this. But it was only a European tour. And we talked about me doing shows from the Green Goose. Remember, Steven?
Yep.
I think Tom was research. That was the old bar I used to hang out in when I was in Germany. And we'd do shows there. And I was going to travel Europe and go see them. And it just didn't happen for multiple amount of reasons. But they announced last week a 12-city North American tour in 2005. I will be there.
You mean 2025?
2025. Yeah. What did I say?
2005.
Yeah. No, 2025.
Taking it back, Steven. Relax.
Yeah,
He's going back to almost 40
Steven,
years.
I'm Biden. He's Trump. Fact check him, not me, you prick. Okay.
Okay, fact checks this, right? Let's just see AC/DC. When was the last time you're going to see it? When was that? 2023?
What?
The last time you were going to go see them?
No, this was like 17 or 18. This was right after.
I think 16 was their last tour in the U.S. before their most recent one in 23.
Oh, you must be Googling because you don't know this information off the top of your head. Steven, check out their last tour, buddy.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Last tour, Rocker Bus, 2015 to 2016.
Damn.
So they were in America and Europe together.
All right, mark the date and time. It's 8:36 p.m. on December the 4th. The spread cover got something right. Okay.
Wow!
Fact right there. Okay. But they finished that tour up with Axl Rose, and I wanted no part of that. And then that was it. It was over. And I thought, all right, I missed it. I missed the opportunity of my lifetime. So then they come back, and they only do Europe last year. And I can't pull it off. There's things now that I can't do with children. Junior, you got kids. Your kids are growing up now pretty much, so you can start doing things again.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait till they get the hell out.
I keep telling my kid that. She's only 11, but I'm like, as soon as you're 18, you're out of here, kid.
Yeah. Can't wait.
And if they change the laws, as soon as you're 16 or 14 or whatever, maybe we'll move to Saudi Arabia and we'll get you married off right now, and then that'll be the end of you. I don't know. But
For 100,000, shit.
100,000.
Right, 100 million.
No, I only need tickets I just need enough to buy an AC/DC ticket. That's all. So, but so the reviews from the tour in Europe, because I watched, they were not good. They said, there's a bunch of really old guys, and they're off, and it's not the same, but it doesn't make a difference. So the question is, where? Who's with me? I know Q. Q already told me he's with me because Q looked up the tour schedule, and he said that he goes on vacation from his job the day before the Vegas tour or the Vegas tour stop. Steven, rattle off the tour stops. I know it starts in Minneapolis. I ain't going to
April 10th, Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium.
April 10th in Minnesota is way too cold. What else? What's next?
April 14th, AT&T Stadium, Cowboys World, Jerry's World on the 14th. Rose Bowl, 4%.
When is that? April 10th?
April 14th.
April 14th in Dallas. Okay, what else?
Be a bad show there.
April 18th, 4% of tickets are left in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
What do you mean 4% tickets to the left? They don't go on sale until Friday.
Well, they're on sale on the Go Tickets website. That's where you get tickets.
All right. Where is the 18th at?
The Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And I've already been there.
Yeah, I'm not doing LA. What else? What else we got?
April 22nd, the BC Palace Stadium in Vancouver, British Columbia.
I'm not going to Canada. Too cold there. Even in July, it's too cold there. What else?
April 26th is in Vegas.
State, though, buddy.
What's that?
That might be the 51st state.
Yeah, I know that. That's. Hey, you're right.
No politics, right?
No politics, but yeah, you're up on current events. I'll give you that. What else, Stephen? What's next?
So
after
April 26th is in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Surprised it's not at the Sphere. You know?
So no, the Sphere doesn't hold enough people. So here's the benefits to Vegas. If we do it in Vegas, is Stadium Food Girl's got the hookup in that stadium. So she can get us behind the scenes. She can do all kinds of stuff in that stadium. Vegas is highlighted. What's next?
April 30th, Ford Field in Detroit.
No, not happening. What else?
May 4th at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
May 4th in Foxborough. What else?
May 8th at Pittsburgh, where Heinz Field used to be, but it's now the Acoustic Stadium.
Yeah, I could do Pittsburgh. You ever been to Pittsburgh, Junior?
Oh, man, I love Pittsburgh.
So do I.
I do. I love, like, the craziest thing is those little trolleys that go up the mountain, right? I'm so scared of heights. And, we went up the mountain in a trolley. And my kids and my wife, they were all like, oh, look. And they're like, Dad, I'm hunkered down because I'm waiting for this damn car to fall off the rails. Like, I'm scared. Oh, man, I'm so scared. But it was so beautiful, the city. Like, I really like Pittsburgh.
I've only been there in December twice with Tom. And I loved it, and I hate cold weather, and I loved it. Me and Tom walked around the whole city. We walked into PNC Park in December. It's like wide open. The gates are open. The doors are open. We're like, screw it. Let's go. Get on the field. Let's go walk around. And
we were up there in the winter, too. It was nice. We were doing ice skating right there in the center of the city. Nice Christmas tree. Ruth Chris right next door for dinner. Like, it was we had a beautiful time.
Guy's a high roller. Look at him, Ruth Chris. What else, Stephen? What do we got after Pittsburgh?
After Pittsburgh, May 12th at Northwest Stadium in North Inglewood, Maryland.
Nah. Whoa. May 12th, Joe. Is that Preakness weekend, Joe? May 12th? Joe, you got to give me an answer on the Preakness, buddy. We could kill two birds with one stone right there. No, it's not. Okay, no. Okay. Derby weekend is the Foxborough weekend. All right. So where are we going after Maryland?
After Maryland, we're going to Florida at Raymond James Stadium.
Tampa.
Yeah. What's the date of that? May what?
May 16th.
16th. All right. I mean, that's obviously, but I mean, let me ask you this, Junior. You live in the same place I do. It's almost as easy to go to the airport, get on a plane, and fly to Vegas than it is to drive to Tampa, isn't it? I mean, Tampa's a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah, I mean, going to the airport, flying to Vegas, you're looking at 7 hours. Driving to Tampa, depending on the time, you're looking at 4 to 5.
Yeah, and when you're old and you got a bladder, like I do, you got to stop every 20 minutes.
They call that a baby bladder, AJ. Baby bladder.
Oh, they call it a Joe Biden bladder, I think, or an old man bladder, or a Tom Perfetta bladder. What's after Tampa? They got a couple more shows after Tampa. Where are they
After
going?
Tampa, we go to Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee on the 20th.
That could be kind of cool, Nashville. Nashville on the 20th, then what?
On the 24th, you go to Soldier Field, where the Bears play in Chicago.
On May 24th? No, probably still cold in Chicago at that point. And what else? Isn't there one more show?
And then in Cleveland at Huntington Bank Field on the 28th.
28th of May in Cleveland. I mean, I'm thinking I may need to do this 2 or 3 times.
I know my 2 destinations for sure.
Vegas and where else?
Nashville.
Yeah, you could be right. But Pittsburgh would be, and Pittsburgh's going to be beautiful. What was the pit that's early in the month, though, of Pittsburgh?
Early May.
Early May. So it's not going to be super nice, but it'll be getting nice. I'm surprised that they don't have Miami, that they don't have Philly, they don't have New York on this list.
It looks like they're missing a lot of big markets, but it looks like it might be concentrated on fan base too. You know what I mean?
Concentrated on what?
Fan base.
It's AC/DC, bro. The fan base is everywhere.
No, I know, but think about it. You're talking about Philly, the Philly market, the Miami market, totally different. Inner cities, not too many, older people that respect the music. So I think that Vegas, anything pops off in Vegas. But when it comes down to the other bigger markets, I think it comes down to the people, and I think that. These bigger inner cities like that, they're not so much AC/DC anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's the problem I have with going to a Marlins game. Why I'll never go to another one. You've been to Marlins games.
Absolutely.
There's no baseball vibe there at all. You feel like you're at a Gloria Estefan or a Pitbull concert.
I enjoy going to them. I enjoy going to them because nobody else goes. You can always get a foul ball. You can get a home run ball, super easy. You can interact with the players. But you're right. It's not a baseball game. It's a entertainment venue, really.
We went 4 or 5 years ago, and this is how empty the place is. We bought decent seats on club level. We sat next to Derek Jeter. I mean that's how empty, and just how nobody gives it. Nobody cared, but it just felt very Miami, and it's cool to feel Miami if you're going down to South Beach or you're going to something that you want to feel Miami. But if I'm going to a baseball game, I want it to feel like a baseball game.
Yeah, you remember we went to New York. Remember for their last year in the old stadium. That was a baseball game. There was tons of fans, and I remember. I think we took the subway, if I'm not mistaken, when we went down to the game. Like that was.
Were you with me or were you with Jay?
I think I was with you.
Very, very likely. I don't remember. I mean, I remember going to.
No, it definitely was me and you. We took the whole weekend over there. I remember. Yeah, we went to a game. That's a baseball game. I've never felt that environment before. And it was beautiful because I got to see the stadium before they tore it down. It was Cincinnati. Cincinnati was in town for the weekend, and that's why we went.
Okay.
That was real baseball. It's not like down in South Florida. No sports.
Yeah, and look, the building. There's no building like that. I mean, the new stadium is a beautiful stadium, but it's this just great big corporate sort of cathedral thing. Yankee Stadium felt like baseball.
The history itself.
Yeah.
Right. That right there, like when you walk in, it's like I remember like feeling like I was in not necessarily like a graveyard, but just somewhere where so much greatness had happened, over the course of history. It was a beautiful feeling, and I hate New York, so or not New York, Northeast in general.
It's okay to hate New York. Look, I hate Boston.
Yeah.
That's right. You were the hot dog king too. Mike brought that up. Were you the hot dog king, or was Mike?
Mike was the hot dog king.
That's right. Mike was. We all did that spring training tour that year.
Yeah. That was beautiful. That was a great time, man.
Yankee Legs, the hot dog king.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I hate Boston. I hate the Red Sox, but Fenway's on my Fenway's on my list. Not as high up as AC/DC, but Fenway's on my list.
I went to Little Fenway. Where is that? Sarasota, whatever.
Yeah, Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. I'm good with that.
That's the we did another spring training tour 2 years ago. We went back around, did the same concept that we did the first time.
Yeah.
We just missed 2. I did not make it to the Fenway. I went to the Twins one in Fort Myers. And the other one I didn't go to, and you might be owed some residuals on this, was the Pirates. So what we did was I showed your video. And it turns out the video was so off because I BS'd my way through it. I'm like, yeah, and he did this for us, and he's part of the team, and he changed the name. It's all looks different. Everything is different. But we just couldn't make it to that one.
That one honestly was probably might have been my favorite.
That was a cool vibe.
But no. My favorite was the Rays.
Yeah. You went to the Rays? I remember being at the Rays with Yankee Legs. Me and him went to the Rays.
I probably was there too then.
No, it was just me and him because he had to go outside and smoke, I remember, and you had to go, and it looked like he was in jail, and we made a joke out of that. And then, yeah. No, you were the Sausage King. What's that, Steven?
Well, the Rays will be playing in George Steinbrenner's during this season because their roof's all screwed up.
Yeah,
and also in news, we have that as of Alvashar's suspension is upheld. The former FAU Owl, his suspension is upheld after that he did the Trevor Lawrence, his 3-game suspension.
I'm glad you brought that up. You saw this hit, Junior?
Yeah.
Do you think that this was a really, really, really dirty hit?
No.
I don't think it was at all. I mean, it was bad, but when you're in motion going 100 miles an hour like that in a split second, how are you supposed to avoid that?
Real time. Like, no, it's what do you expect? It's football. Let them play, damn it.
Yeah, I don't.
Except for when it comes to Tua. Do not touch Tua. Do not touch Tua.
Don't even look at him. You might give him a concussion. Steven's got the hit right here. All right.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure everybody's seen it, but let's take a look.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Oh my, that'll be Al Shire who's flagged for the big hit.
Nope. Don't want to see that. And Aziz does not let up and instead hits Trevor high.
How is he supposed? All right, Steven, you get rid of it. How's he supposed to let? Oh no, well, hold on. Let the slow mo.
Yeah, let this go. Yeah. Look at his arms.
He's in. Yeah.
He could have hit him with the body.
Yeah, and he got a 3-game suspension. Okay, Steven, you can get rid of it.
Right,
or do I have to? I can get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it first, and then I can get rid of it.
Okay.
Like that.
Here's a little piece of I'm not to brag, but halftime in Boston, 72-58 Celtics lead over the Pistons. Heat are up right now, 49-52 halftime. You got a second left. Milwaukee is trailing Atlanta. I wouldn't touch that game. They're both hot right now. Atlanta beat Cleveland 2 games in a row, back to back, man. And Cleveland's a monster.
Yeah.
The Nets are kicking the crap out of the Pacers at halftime, 51-35. And then the Magic and Sixers are 53, tied up at halftime.
Yeah, both Pacers and Nets are on a losing streak.
Yeah, well, they're the Nets. So, of course, they're always on
At least the Pistons aren't not as bad as they were last year at this time.
Yeah, no, the Pistons are. So I got a bet. Again, this is not like a Bleacher bet lock, but I got this parlay, and I don't know. Look it up. It's like 100-1. But the Pistons make the playoffs, and the Celtics miss the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
might be more than 100-1. Might be like 1,000,000-1.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what'd you put on it? Like $1?
No, I put like $100 on it because I'll look real fast. It's easy to access, and then we'll start to bring this plane in for a landing because coming up immediately after us is the Joe Quill Show. Joe, what's on tap on the show tonight? Lawrence is out for the season. It doesn't make it. Is he out for the season? I did not hear.
Let me look.
No, Joe's saying he's out for the season. So I'm gonna. When was the last time Joe was wrong with anything?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is expected to have surgery to repair his significant AC joint in his left shoulder, so his season is officially over. That's according to Rappaport.
Nah, let's be real. His season was officially over in like week 3.
This is plus 18,600, the bet that I have for the Celtics to miss the playoffs and the Pistons to win it. I also got Army at plus, where the heck are they? At plus 325 to win the American Conference. And I think they're going to pull that off this Friday, which would be kind of cool. What's on tap tonight, Joe, on your show? The Joe Q coming up right after this tomorrow on the channel. And some things are kind of mixed up and messed up right now. But tomorrow, I believe you got an Inside the American with LaStella. Joe's going to be talking about the suspension right here. Lincoln Riley staying at USC. And Joe's pick on Thursday Night Football. But tomorrow there's another Don't Get Robbed with Rob and Coach Ed, and they're going to break down the rest of the championship games this weekend in the NCAA. Crap, of course, Joe Q. On Saturday morning, and I think I'm back Saturday morning, Joe, to run shotgun with you if you want me. Also eligible where that's the most fun that I do. That and this show is nothing but work, but that show and Kicking It Back with Matt are a lot of fun. So we'll give you horse racing winners on Saturday morning. Junior, you sat in the entire thing, buddy. I think that now qualifies, and we'll be at Aqueduct, the most beautiful racetrack on the planet, Aqueduct. It's like the opening scene of The Sopranos, where he drives through North Jersey and it just looks like a garbage dump. That's sort of what Aqueduct reminds me of. What'd you think, buddy? Hanging for 2 hours?
I love it, man. And I think I've been to Aqueduct before.
Really?
Yeah, I knew when I spent time up there in Jersey. I stopped by a few tracks.
Aqueduct's in New York, though.
Probably, then no.
What movie has an aqueduct scene in it? I'm going to say A Bronx Tale. Am I right or wrong? I'm taking trivia questions from the viewers.
So is that like, you talking about Lil C?
Ding, ding. Little C.
One of my favorite characters of all time.
It was Collegiano?
Colagino, yeah.
Colagino, yeah.
Yeah.
No. I don't know if Lil C was there, but Mush was there. That I remember. I know my gangster movies. I kind of know my track movies.
All right. Favorite gangster movie before we leave?
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah. What was the Christopher Walken? New York. What was that? The Christopher Walken. New York. That was my favorite.
Gangs in New York? I don't know.
Nah, it wasn't Gangs in New York. Oh, man. Somebody's got to know it. Christopher Walken, King of New York.
King of New York. Okay. Look, Goodfellas is a classic movie, but I can't give De Niro credit for anything at this point. Being here's my feeling. All right, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Yeah, Mike Nelson say Kings of New York.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I don't judge. But when you come out and you get in everybody's face and you're mean and you're ugly about it. Robert De Niro, Jimmy Kimmel, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. We want you to make us laugh, or we want you to entertain us.
Right.
All right?
Right.
How awesome is this? Ellen DeGeneres moved out of the country to England, and did you see what happened to her new house the other day?
No, what happened?
Underwater, massive rain and flooding. An entire 50-acre farm is gone. Love it. I love it. You have to love that. You want to move out of the country? Then shut the F up and move out of the country.
What do they call that? What is that? Karma?
Yeah, that's karma, bitch. That is absolutely karma. Let me get us something good to play out. And look, here's our schedule. A couple other breaking things. So we broke the Carrick Rangers. We kind of hit most of the stuff on the list. We got no hockey. We got ghosted by Looch, and we didn't get ghosted by Looch. Something's up, and he couldn't make it tonight. And I'm sure Joe just got hung up or had some sort of issue. But we're on next week. The following week is our big Christmas extravaganza. We're probably going to go 3 hours that night. All right? Our last Christmas extravaganza If anyone remembers this, Nick was drinking. Oh God, what the hell was he drinking? I don't remember what he was drinking, but Nick was wasted about 3 seconds into the show, and then we can't get Nick to shut up when he's not wasted, but he was gone. But it was absolutely hysterical. So we're gonna try to get everybody on that show, as many people as we can. Then we're gonna take Christmas Day off. I know it's disappointing, but it falls on a Wednesday, so we're gonna take Christmas Day off. I'm still on the fence on New Year's Day. Last year, we went on New Year's Day. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but we went, and the official launch date, I have it now, for the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network radio app, which you can already download on the Apple App Store or whatever the iTunes Store or whatever the hell it is. And we got some 80s music and whatever is in my playlist. I just threw it in there. Maybe we'll throw Christmas friggin' Yule-log stuff in there. But January 6th, 2025, Bleacher Brothers Sports Network radio launches. And it's all over. We're going back to Europe. We're going back to Saudi Arabia. We're going to South America. We're taking over the world. All right, and even
storm.
Right. I'm not saying that we're moving. James wants to be like Nick. Don't we all? Don't we all want to be like the Flick? Look, I got to thank Messerstall's sponsor tonight, Palm Beach. Oh, FAU. I didn't even get to FAU hockey. We'll do it next week. But there was big FAU hockey news. They're on sort of a 2-month break right now. It's kind of weird. It's like English soccer where they play and then they're off and then they play in a different league. But they had 2 guys put on the All-Star team for this conference that they're in. And the All-Star games are in Europe. They're going to Germany and they're going somewhere else to play for like a week. And one of them is a friend of the show. One of them is Rocco Bruno, was the very first guy announced that made the team. Not the first FAU guy. The first guy that they put on the team was Rocco.
That's awesome.
So maybe we'll bring Rocco back on. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a killer name for a hockey player, Rocco Bruno?
In general, in life.
And where do you think a Rocco Bruno comes from?
New York.
Philly. That's a straight up Philly name, man.
Really?
Yeah, Rocco Bruno. And Joe Q, it is Rocky Balboa week this week in Philadelphia. So the big thing is they took the statue and they moved it back up to the top of the stairs this week. So you get down to the Rocky steps, Joe. Get your picture taken on top of the steps with the statue. We will be back next Wednesday night. I'm assuming that...
well, he's going to the statue on Friday.
He's going on Friday. All right, Joe, can you report from the statue? Can we get man on the street Rocky Balboa week coverage, interviewing fans? Hopefully. Hopefully is not a good answer, Joe. That's a Joe Biden answer. That's like saying you're not going to pardon your son. It's like, F yeah, man. I'm going to be out there with them Balboa heads, okay? See who could do the best Rocky. Here you go, Joe. You want to go viral? I'll get you 1 million views. Get me people doing their best Rocky Balboa impersonation. Yo, absolutely, Adrian. You know, all that stuff. Go for it.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
What is it? My house stink? That's where is it? Where is it? I got it. We're gonna get the hell out of here though. I don't have it. Oh yeah. Here, hang on. Let me shut Metallica up for 1 second. Joe, you should have.
That's right. It stinks.
That's right. It stinks. You got to get people doing that, Joe. All right. I got to thank Junior who hung in there. He was scheduled. I asked him to come on for an hour, and he hung the whole show. And you'll be back next Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
From the ATL?
From the ATL, baby.
Can you go remote from the local Waffle House?
I think I'm banned from all Waffle Houses. Live.
That doesn't surprise me. Luker, fantastic job tonight. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. And make sure to check out all the great shows. Oh, tomorrow, for all you degenerates out there, License to Steal with Defoe and the quote-unquote top sports betting handicappers in the world is on at 4 o'clock. Coach Ed and Rob come on after that. I think there's a La Stella report or a what Atlanta prison he wants to know that are you in right now?
Folsom County, baby.
There you go. All right. And remember your locks. Boston. I mean, the proof is in the pudding tonight. New York Red Bulls. Make some money on some soccer. You don't need to know anything about it, but if you bet on it, you'll watch it. And if you watch it, you'll get hooked. All right. And then Miami Dolphins are my other lock this weekend. So until next week, I guess adios. Thank you, everybody. All right. We're out of here.